There is a city where more than 1 million people fall asleep every night below the level of the sea. Not beside the sea, below it. If the water that waits just past their windows were ever fully let loose, it would not lap at their feet. It would pour in over their heads. And this is no fishing village, no forgotten island. It is part of one of the largest, richest, most advanced cities on Earth. Every single day, it fights a quiet war against the ocean, and it is a war it cannot afford to lose even once. So how does a modern megacity end up beneath the sea while it is still standing? The strange answer is that it sank itself. For most of the 20th century, the city pumped staggering amounts of groundwater out from underneath itself to feed its factories and its swelling millions. And as the water came out, the ground came down. In some districts, the land dropped by as much as 4 meters. Not over thousands of years. Within a single human lifetime, entire neighborhoods settled down into the earth until they sat lower than the rivers and the bay beside them. There is a name for these places now, the 0-meter zones, land at or below sea level, where the only thing between the people and the water is concrete. Walk through these districts and you begin to feel it. Rivers that run higher than the rooftops, giant steel floodgates standing guard at the river mouths, levees taller than the houses behind them. Here the sea is not a distant worry. It is held back, right now, this second, by a wall, and it never stops pushing. But those walls were built for the world as it used to be, not the one that is coming. The city eventually slowed the worst of the pumping, and the sinking eased. But the sea did not hold still. It is rising year after year, climbing the outside of those same walls. The safety margin engineers left a generation ago is quietly being eaten away from the other side. And then there are the storms. Each year, the typhoons that batter this coast grow stronger and carry more water. A large enough storm, arriving at high tide, could drive a wall of seawater straight onto the lowest, most crowded ground in the country. The government's own worst-case maps show the water swallowing vast stretches of the city, with millions of people forced to flee through streets that already sit beneath the floodline. You can already see the near misses. Not long ago, one of the most powerful typhoons in decades slammed into the coast, and the city's defenses ran at full force through the night just to hold. So the city built something almost beyond belief in order to survive. Deep below the suburbs lies a cathedral of concrete, a vast underground temple of towering pillars and tunnels big enough to swallow a flood whole and pump it back out before it ever reaches the surface. It is one of the largest flood control machines ever built by human hands. And it is also a confession. You do not bury something that enormous beneath your city unless you are truly afraid of what is above. It is not only the capital. Further west, an entire international airport was built out on an artificial island in the bay. Since the day it opened, it has been sinking into the seabed, meters down already, its engineers forever racing to lift it faster than it falls. And here is the part that should unsettle you most. All of that brilliance, the walls, the gates, the underground cathedral, it manages the water. It does not raise the land. The ground is still sitting below the sea. The defenses can hold the line. They cannot carry the city back uphill. And the day a great earthquake cracks those walls while the water is high, the line will not hold itself. The city is Tokyo, the country is Japan. And this is the most prepared, best defended version of this problem anywhere on the planet, which is exactly why it should frighten you. Because Tokyo is not alone on this list. Jakarta is sinking so fast that an entire nation is abandoning it as a capital. From Shanghai to Miami, coastal cities are watching the same two lines on the same graph. The ground going down, the water coming up. Tokyo simply has the most money, the finest engineers, and the most time to get ready. So watch it carefully, because a city can hold back the sea for decades with enough concrete and enough will. The question no one can truly answer is what happens when the ground stays below the water, the storms keep growing, and the walls, for one single night, are finally not tall enough. More than 1 million people are already sleeping below the sea tonight. They are only the first.